How's it going, folks? Brian Cusco here at Triple B, and today we're hanging out with my brother-in-law Cory, who used to be very afraid of snakes, but he's working on his fear of it to the point where he doesn't have any more. You're watching Triple B TV. Alright guys, so today is also our monthly contest. So one of you lucky people will be winning one of these beautiful contraptions right here. Yeah, one of these. Check that out. What temp we got?
81.5.
81.5 on the camera. Why don't we journey back in time to when we were all staying at my parents' house. Myself, my wife, our baby boy, my sister, her at the time fiance, a dog, my parents, all in about 1,000 square foot house. And Cory didn't know that I had snakes there, but he soon found out when I forgot that he was coming home from work. I was sitting on the couch with a snake. Do you remember this?
I do.
Yeah. I was sitting on the couch. I had a snake. I had Carl out actually, and he walks in the door and kind of backs up against the door and looks at me like, "What is that doing here?" Was that basically how it happened?
That was a pretty big snake.
Yeah, it was, let's see how big it was. Yeah, huge, enormous. And this is of course a couple years ago. This is definitely the same snake. Of course, but he's 2 years older in this shot here.
Nice,
so.
nice.
Yeah, he's huge.
You bring me here to humiliate me, or?
Oh well. What do you think?
Yeah, it's definitely not as afraid anymore.
You want to handle him?
Yeah.
See, so we've been living in different places for a while now. Like he hasn't been around my snakes basically since that time, so he hasn't had any time to really work on, getting used to snakes any more than anybody else who hasn't been around snakes for the last couple of years. So how did we do it? So you were that first day, you didn't touch the snake. There was no touching the snake, right? I basically ran back in the room and
not looking at the snake, not touching the snake. No.
Yeah.
Didn't want anything to do with the snake.
Right. I know we talked about going over to Josh's house, and Josh has a ball python and a boa over there, and you knew that we were going over there. You knew that Josh had snakes.
No, I did not.
You did not know Josh had snakes.
No,
okay.
I did not.
So apparently it was just my plan to go over there and help him get over his fear. I think we had a glass of whiskey or something. Just a little glass of whiskey, just kind of even it out a little bit. And then I maybe mentioned that Josh did have snakes at the house, and would you be comfortable with one coming out in the living room while we just checked it out? Is that?
Yeah, pretty much the gist of it.
Yeah, the gist of it.
Yeah.
And then how did you? And it's not like I'm not the type of person that likes to force people to like snakes, of course, because that never works. I've never seen that work.
No.
So how did I just said, do you want to hold one, or did you ask to actually hold it?
Is scared and unknowing of snakes as I've been, I've always been fascinated by snakes. Not that I want to go find out more about them, but every time I see one, I am intrigued by it and I would like to know more about it, but I've never had the opportunity to have someone tell me about a snake or, and I try not to let fear get a hold of me with very many things, and with the right guidance, I was very willing, but nervous. I think I did ask to see the snake. I'm not sure, actually.
Your willingness to learn and maybe overcome your fear, that's one of the big keys. It's virtually impossible, I think, to teach someone or to help someone overcome their fear if they're not willing to in the first place. You can't force it upon somebody.
Absolutely not.
So that was kind of my way of, trying to ease into it, I guess, and just sit there and hang out and see how you felt about it. And luckily, you were willing to check it out, because that's one of my missions in life, of course, is to ease people's fear of snakes, because obviously there's not any more to fear than any other animal,
No, but at the same time, you don't see people walking their snakes down the street every day.
Not every day.
They're a bit of a mystery to a lot of people.
True.
And everything about them, what they look like, their temperament. Are they? I'm always scared of getting bit by a snake. Is my worst fear of snakes. Not that they are a creepy animal, though. I mean, you can take that out. They're not creepy.
They can be creepy to somebody who's not had an experience with them. They have no arms and legs. I think is one of the big thing. The way they move around can sometimes freak people out.
Yeah,
sure.
Absolutely.
And you say getting bit by a snake. I'd take a bite from a snake before a cat or a dog, anything like that. That's because I've been bit by a snake and I know what to expect.
Yeah.
Which is not much. Well, depending on the size of the snake and the size of the teeth on that snake, of course. And the lack of venom definitely helps out.
Absolutely. I think the snake fell asleep.
You mind if I pull out a blood python?
I don't know. Should I?
Well, no. You should be fine.
Isn't that the one that bites you all the time?
She was definitely a bit bitey.
She's a bit bitey.
She was a bit bitey. So most snakes are extremely defensive when they're babies because they think everything's trying to eat them, which in the wild it is.
It is.
So they're extremely defensive. And blood pythons tend to be maybe more so than other species. You get a bit jumpy, and she was striking at about everything that came within 1.5 feet of her face, for the first several months. But now Noah holds her.
Oh, okay.
So, and once she gets a little whiff of you and she realizes you're not a threat, she's learned that there's nothing to be defensive about because she's going to be okay in a person's hands. As you can see, she's flicking me, checking me out. She knows me by now, and now she knows me as a human, just as she would know you if you were to. Would you want to check her out? I mean, she's even less. She's going to move around less than Carl did, actually.
I'll be honest. I am terrified right now. To be completely honest with you, I am. I'll give it a try though.
Okay. You want to just put out 2 hands. There you go. Just kind of support her whole body, and I'll keep watching her and make sure she's the way she's moving right now. Not a problem. She's just checking it out, and you're very calm. You're holding her mellow, so she's got no qualms.
Can they smell fear?
That is a very good question, and that's one that I definitely don't know the answer to. They definitely have a very, very good sense of smell.
Probably tell my heart's racing.
That's possible. She can probably feel your pulse, but her face is pointed at me, so you're safe.
Yeah, I like it when it's like that.
And even though you're a little apprehensive, she'll probably be okay. As long as she doesn't feel like you're trying to harm her,
Yeah.
then I think you're gonna be okay. Amazing snake though, right? I mean,
It's a beautiful snake, yes.
You should see the color she's gonna get when she's like a full adult. It's gonna be like this blood red cherry
Really?
color, yeah. I saw one of her adult sisters, or from the same mother and father, from an earlier clutch, and whew, smoking.
Wow. If a snake could ever be short and fat, I think
These are very short and fat snakes.
Yeah.
Very short and fat. The blood pythons are known for their short and fatness.
I'm used to dealing with short and fat.
I won't tell my sister you said that.
Okay.
All right, so while Cory's sitting there handling the blood python, let's talk about the contest details and how you can win this awesome thing right here, as well as, did you notice the Triple B t-shirt? These just came in the mail today. My buddy made them for me, and I've got a small stash of them, and one of them is going to be the prize for this month. So what you need to do is tell me next video, which I will upload on Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which, if I'm not mistaken, is 5 p.m. GMT, or Greenwich Meridian Time, Greenwich Mean Time, Universal Time, whatever you want to call it. 5 p.m. GMT, or for my Californians, Oregonians, and Washingtonians, 10 a.m. next Sunday morning. And what you need to tell me on that video is how old I was when I got my first snake, where I got my first snake, including the name of the pet store, as well as the city and state that pet store is located in. It's on one of my videos. It's on a couple of my videos, actually, I think. The full information you can find throughout my videos. And good luck, and may the best subscriber win. It's contest time! It's contest time!
It's contest time. 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 All right, guys. Well, I think that's gonna do it for us this week. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, I don't see any reason why you shouldn't, unless you don't like snakes. Actually, even if you don't like snakes, you should definitely subscribe to this channel because it will definitely help you get over that.
I didn't like snakes.
He didn't like snakes. All right, Cory, I appreciate you sitting on here with me, man, and taking the time for me. So,
No problem.
all right, buddy.
My pleasure.
All right, we'll see you guys again next week. Y'all take care. Don't forget about the contest.